Good morning, good people. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. Here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you on your journey through this life in preparation for what comes next, with the belief that what comes next is directly related. It's a function of how we are here. So the better prepared we are for the future, the better the future will be. Good morning, Maticus von Atticus. So you're in Pahrump. Good. Where are you at? Where are you in Pahrump? Are you in Pahrump, Kentucky? Where are you, Maticus von Atticus? Are you at the apartment? Let's see, what do we got here? Whoa. Wow. Sorry, people. I have an incredible number of wow. From 7:28 p.m. till now, very long string of text messages. Okay, good morning. What a bevy. Good morning, Maticus von Atticus. Here we are at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the beatings have started. Crazy time. Okay. But here we are, day 2. And actually, this craziness fits in exactly with today's meme. Today's meme is selective perception. It's red letter on the worksheet with Darren Hardy. We see what we want to see. We don't see reality, we see our reality. Kind of a David Foster Wallace thing of what is water, right? It's the default setting. Okay, so my mind is on the day. It's interesting. So just a quick little story. We had Barbara Oakley come to our class in the jail, CCDC downtown, one day to talk to the students. And she told me that at a certain speed of typing, you don't know what you're typing. You're typing so fast, you don't know what the words are. Your brain is just, your eyes, brain, fingers are in sync with little pixels on the page that you're not aware of what you're typing, and you can actually be doing other things in your brain. So she gave the example of in Japan, they're having kids do math puzzles in their brain as they're typing at really high speed. And that kind of makes sense. I think piano players, it's the same thing. You're playing the music and you're able to be aware of what's going on around you. It's the same thing with driving. So it was an interesting thing to notice that I'm trying to have this conversation, but these text messages are also simultaneously going on in my brain. So the little chuckle is phenomenology, being aware of that. Also, this is my first day of the special coffee-like mushroom-ish sort of drink, only because time was racing and a lot to do here. So, good thing is I don't have a sense of smell, a very limited sense of smell. So it tastes like some kind of flavored hot water. Not bad. All right, our theme of today, selective perception. We see our reality is what we believe it to be. This is in Darren Hardy. I also attached it on a link for something. We see what we want to see. We see what we believe. Our brains ignore things that don't fit in with our perception of reality. And so what do we do about that? Well, I think David Foster Wallace would say to remind ourselves this is water and try to look at it from a different perspective. Question the assumptions. I did a little more research on the Galilean wedding that we talked about last week, and the AI request I put in is, what is the first known use of the term Galilean wedding? It says, well, back in the 2nd century AD, a Jewish scholar mentioned Judean weddings and Galilean weddings are a little bit different. That's it. A Galilean wedding is described as something that is radically different from any other wedding. So there's no reason to believe that one line, it's different than a Judean wedding, means it's a Galilean wedding. And the first use of the term Galilean wedding happened very, very recently, having to do with a movie, and there's really no historical basis for it. However, if you don't do the research and somebody says Galilean wedding different and they do a movie about it, and you don't question, well, where did this idea come from? Does it even make sense? You accept it as true, it becomes part of your reality, and that shapes everything else. So the question is, what are our selective perceptions? And how do we overcome them? Okay, so that's one red letter thing down below. We have another one, Seth's blog, Winging It. Talk about that. And there was another one. I thought there was a third. Advice from an 80-year-old. Remember, no one makes it alone. We need other people. Oh, Yuval Harari. Yeah, this is another big one. Why humans control the planet. I'm going to put that in red letter. Why humans control the planet. Humans control the planet because only humans can work flexibly in large numbers. Ants, bees, things like that can work in large numbers, but not flexibly. There's one way to do things. Social animals, monkeys, chimpanzees, things like that can work flexibly, but in small numbers. Are you a good chimpanzee? Chimpanzees will trade with one another, but only if they know each other. Okay, so that begs the question, well, why is it only humans are able to do this? And you could say, well, it's obvious, God. Or you can say, well, yeah, the challenge with that is it also happens to people who don't believe in God or people who believe in other religions. So if you're a John 14:6 kind of person, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through me. In other words, my version of Christianity. What about everyone else that this applies to? How come everyone else is able to work flexibly in large numbers? How come everyone else isn't like all of the other animals? So the best explanation for that is because all humans are able to create stories. And if we believe the story, we can cooperate. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to believe in any religion. You can believe in some very whacked out religions. You can believe in a quasi-religion like Nazism or communism, things like that. And if you believe in them, you will cooperate with other people in large numbers. Okay, so then that begs the question, well, why is it that humans are the only ones who can invent stories that we can believe in and act on? Yes, Matt, the people in room 1415 could be good roommates, and there will be some changes soon. So I think Travis is good. Trent. Yeah, Travis. No, what's his name? Tristan. Tristan is good. Sean is good. Anyway, why is it that humans can do it? And it appears only humans are able to do it because we are the only animals able to create, invent stories. A fictional reality. We are the only ones that experience life as both reality and fictional reality, objective reality and subjective reality. So a tree is a tree, a mountain is a mountain, a river is a river, a lion's a lion, is how all other animals are able to see things. Humans are able to talk about, well, that's a beautiful mountain, that's an ugly mountain, that's a scary lion, that's a nice lion, that's, that smells good. The sunset is beautiful. Let's go over there holding hands and watch the sunset. Only humans are able to do that. And then that begs the question, well, why are humans the only ones able to do that? And the best explanation, which is a pretty good explanation, it's pretty solid, is that we have more neurons, specifically in our prefrontal cortex. We have more neurons than any other animal, except for some dolphins. But Neanderthal might have had more neurons too, but their brain wasn't as complex. It was more of appears that it was more of a storage device, large file cabinets, rather than algorithms, the ability to process information, not store information, be able to take information, process it, and act. Okay, cool. So, boom, bump, beep, boom, bump, beep. That's an interesting one. So, again, Yuval Harari, humans control the planet because we can work flexibly in large numbers, because we invent stories that we believe in, because we see the world as both fictional reality and objective reality, because we have more neurons. Well, why do we have more neurons? And the best answer for that, and it seems pretty solid, is that we're the only animals that cook our food. It's not the fact that the food is cooked, though. The fact that the food is cooked means we can get more calories in a shorter amount of time. We can more easily digest food, get more calories, which means in the same amount of time, which means we spend less time finding food, eating food, digesting food, which means we have more free time to solve problems. And the more problems we try to solve, the more brain power we need. And if you do this over millions of years, you start having minor differences become major differences. And that's how it seems. That's how it seems, people. Now let's see what Seth Godin says about winging it. Tech and culture have enabled a new sort of informality. Not simply the end of suits and ties and heels at work, but the office itself is fading away. But there's a difference between being informal and being in such a hurry to get to the next thing that we don't take this thing seriously. I recently had a sales call with a software consulting firm. The person who organized the call joined from his car while driving. Right. The artifice. Okay, so the person who organized the call made it from his car while he was driving. The artifice of sitting at a desk, having good lighting, wearing a smock, writing a memo instead of making stuff up as you go along, looking people in the eye, quoting your sources, measuring twice, not once, showing up on time, doing the reading, showing your work. These are signals, not just signals to the person you're working with or persuading, but signals to yourself. It's easy to misunderstand the idea of agile and the minimum viable product. We shouldn't forget that the unspoken rule is, here's the unspoken rule, people, don't ship junk. We send a message to the market when we're in such a hurry that we don't put in the care and focus needed to do great work. Getting more boxes checked simply leads to having more boxes checked. If we're here to make a difference, we often get there with better, not more. Huge people. I'm going to put that in red letter. It is in red letter. That's huge. Wow. Yeah, winging it equals bad. Spend the time to do it right. Or as the Navy SEALs say, what? Matt, there's 2 ways to do things. What are the 2 ways to do things? And the answer to your question, another answer to your question, Maticus Phonaticus, is Charlene. She's looking for a place to go. Right or do it again. Right. You have 2 choices. We do it right or we do it again. That's the 2 choices we have in getting work done. Okay. All right, people. So we're at 17 minutes in. It just doesn't matter. Maybe Charlene is a good option for a place to get. She gets a guaranteed check every month. And when she's on her meds, she's very good. Could be a good roommate. Could be good. All righty then. Because you both have your own things. She's looking for a place. She's in Vegas, trying to get back up here to go to someplace. So anyway, with that, we're going to say and cut, people, and cut.